And I got involved in Debt for Climate last year. I've been involved in climate activism for 2.5 years with Extinction Rebellion DC. I'm 17 years old, so the climate is really important because it's our future, and it's being destroyed rapidly as we continue to increase use of fossil fuels. So I've been really passionate about climate. And then in last year with the founding of Debt for Climate, I was learning about how the IMF and World Bank are exploiting the fossil fuels of the global south, and that there's no way that we can achieve climate justice while the global south is suffering from this tremendous burden of the debt. And the thing is, the global north is responsible for 92% of global carbon emissions. The global south is only responsible for 8%. They've done nothing to cause any of these issues, and yet they're suffering more than the global north. And the US alone, where I come from, is responsible for 40% of global climate emissions. And the US, Washington DC, where I come from, is the headquarters of the IMF and the World Bank. And they manipulate these institutions purely for their own profit. They don't care about anyone in the global south. And they've been doing this for years. And like every year, they have the IMF and World Bank meetings, which we protested at in the fall, where all these diplomats meet and make the decisions that affect the global south with no voices, no representatives there. And so we need to demand that these institutions, the IMF and the World Bank, they are extremely unjust, and they cannot continue because the global north, they have all the power in the IMF and the World Bank. The US and Europe completely control it. And so they're only interested in extracting fossil fuels from the global south that they're burning in the global north. And they make promises like, oh, we'll stop the carbon emissions at 1.5 degrees Celsius. And yet they don't do anything about this. And so we need this to stop. And we need global south voices to be heard on the international stages, not just heard, but acted on. We can't let the global politics be controlled by the US and Europe anymore, because this has not gotten us anywhere. This has not solved any problems. So that is why we need the debt canceled.
Yeah.
What do we want?
Cancellation.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Debt cancellation.
When do we want it?
Now.
If we don't get it, shut it down. If we don't get it,
Shut it down.